Welcome on stitchingall.com. In the earlier video, I had shared with you how to make Lucknowi chicken kurti with back zipper and without that kurti without sleeves. In this video, I'll show you how to make these palazzo or sharara with lining. So you can pair this flare pants, that is palazzo or sharara, with any tunic, kurti or any short or long dress. We had cut this palazzo out of this long fabric, that is a georgette fabric. It's having Lucknowi embroidery on it. It's having that dupatta side. So we'll be using dupatta side for our palazzo. We'll fold it and leave about 1 inch from the bottom, or you can leave even ½ inch or 2 inch to, if you want to picot from the down, keep ½ inch. If you want to fold more, you can keep 2 inch from the bottom. Now you check the total length minus belt width, or whatever length you want your flare pants to be. I'm cutting from the bottom so that it is easier to manage rest of the fabric. Now we check our waistline. I keep it hip divided by 3 minus 2 inch. And hip length, I'll be keeping 14 inch or 15 inch. Depending on your hip size, you can keep it 14 or 15. Formula I have given it already here. So you can check the formula, that is hip divided by 3 plus 2 inch. And same, I take the hip width, that is the minimum you need for a comfort fit. In ready-made palazzo or flare pants, it is hip divided by 3, that is the minimum you need, and if you add 2 inches, that is for extra looseness or extra comfort. Now you join this line, the hip line, with the waistline. You can join it straight or slanting and then give it a slight curve, either freehand or using a curvy scale. This way we got it. And the bottom, you can keep as much flare as you want. I've given many tips on making these kind of palazzos and on different methods. I've made them and shared with you. But here the main point is the lining that we'll be adding. So here we keep about ½ inch, maximum 1 inch we can keep for outside for seam allowance, and even for the back side also we need to keep. From the waist we'll be keeping 1½ or 1¼ inch up and join it from the center of the waist. Now it goes a little slanting. Now we cut the outline, keeping ½ inch minimum on the sides. Now we need to cut the front and back separately. We have checked the waist, that is hip divided by 3 minus 2 inch, and everything is right. We have done it. Now we separate, because our front is, the embroidery is different than the back part of the palazzo or flare pants. So we need to keep the embroidered design front, and that's why we are cutting front and back in different manners. So we separate it from the sides, we cut it from the side. See, on the front side, though the color of this dress is very light, I don't know if you are able to see or not, but it's very light, but still you can see chicken embroideries like this. on white or cream or very light colors. Using white thread, this embroidery is done. We separate front and back, and then we place front parts, both parts of the front again. And now we need to do a little more cutting on this, slightly, to give it some shape. From the back, from the top, we had increased about 1¼ inch from the side. So we don't need it in front side because our waist from front waist is like smaller than the back. So we cut it from the up, and front also we cut about ½ inch curvy. We make it a little bit curvy from the front. We are cutting a 4-inch, in fact 4½ inch wide belt, and the length of this belt should be at least as much as the waist of our palazzo or flare pants. If you are running short of fabric, you can cut 2 pieces, make a stitch to join them, or if you have a long fabric, cut it along the selvage side. So this way we are having 2 pieces. Now we cut the lining. Here we have cotton fabric, washed, ironed, placed in folded. Folded side is towards me and the open side is towards you. You can keep the earlier pieces that we cut for the palazzo. You can keep those pieces and cut front and back of this lining separately, as we have already done that. So it saves your time. Or if you are getting a bit lazy and you don't want to place that, then simply keep this 4-folded lining and make hip divided by 3 from the hip line from up, and length would be same as your palazzo minus the belt minus the lower fold, because we don't need or we don't want our lining to show from the bottom of our dress. So this way the lining would be cut. It would be about 2 inches less, or at least 1 inch less, or 2 inch ideally less than the upper palazzo. Alright, now we separate, because we folded it from the top and the bottom, so we separate. Now to the sewing. So to stitch, we stitch the back parts of hip curves and front part of the hip curve together this way. I've shown you in my earlier videos. Check that if you haven't done that, like if you don't know how to do this. Now stitch the sides, stitch the other side as well. Okay, I hope it is pretty simple for you. And stitch from the middle leg also. This is done. Now we'll fold from the bottom and make a fine long stitch. See, this is the embroidery side, would be appearing on the right side of the fabric, and that will be looking pretty nice. So we make a stitch. Once we done both the legs, the bottom of the legs, it will look somewhat like this. See how beautiful it would be appearing from the front side once it is ironed. Now this is the basic thing that we have done. Okay, sides closed, hip closed, bottom done, upper left for the belt. Before that, what we do, we repeat the same process of stitching the hips, the sides, and folding the bottom of the lining. This way we are left with two pieces. One is the palazzo or the upper part and the one is our lining. I tried to iron it so much, but still this fabric is so limpy. After wash it will be alright. So I'm using white fabric because I couldn't get pink at the moment, and it is looks alright from the bottom, but try to have a same color fabric, same shade, which is your upper fabric. So this is how you'll make the lining inside your palazzo. Right sides out, wrong sides in, and then we'll stitch to join the waist of both these dresses or the palazzos. Now joining the belt. This is the belt, selvage side out on the right side of our pajama or palazzo or pants, whatever it is. You keep alongside this waist round, stitch around this waist. Not a big deal, you can do it. Pin it if any difficulty. Georgette is a little bit slippery fabric, but I don't think once it is together with cotton, it makes life easier. So here you go all around the circle and cover the waist, and it is almost done. Once you reach at the other corner, you need to keep it a little bit more, stop and at the end where it meets the other part, cut the thread and cut the extra fabric, leaving at least ½ inch or 1 inch from the outside so that extra fabric can be cut later as well. So this is our belt. Okay, this is service side. We'll place it up and see, I am using elastic, but if you want you can use a cloth string as well, right? Because I've seen some people are more comfortable with cloth string, but I'm not really into that. So I love putting an elastic and forgetting the tying and untying and all that. So simply stitch over it, and this is the front and the other part, other side. I'm starting the other side from the opening itself. So I kept the opening open, and you also keep the opening open. Don't close it yet because we need to put a cloth string, but I'm putting an elastic 1 inch wide elastic. You can take even less wider, ½ inch or ¼ inch as you are comfortable, at least 1 or 2 inches less than your waist, and then stitch from one side so that it doesn't come off. And once you do it, go all around it, the back side also. I put one long elastic instead of putting two pieces of the belt, like one in the front, one in the back, so that you can stitch both the sides differently. But here, you know, the benefit that I feel that this thing has, that I can anytime I feel like that no, I want all the gathers everywhere, and or elastic is too loose or too tight, I can just simply unstitch and no need to replace, just pull it out and it makes your life easy. well, it makes things better. So we close the other side of this elastic and close. Cut the threads, extra threads. Now the gathers, if you don't want gathers in the front or you want slight gathers, you can keep the slight gathers or all together remove them from the front part. Measure how much part you want without the gathers, and that much part you can leave, and leaving that much, make a stitch on the elastic, of course on the fabric, but elastic is inside, so elastic would be inside, so the stitch would be on elastic as well as on fabric. So that's not I think you can understand that much, right? So here we got one more stitch over our elastic so that it doesn't move from its place. Once we got it, stop where you want that. Okay, this is the territory where the elastic must stop, and beyond that it can make gathers. So here I make a top stitch as I just told you, and then I reverse to make it pucka, and now I need to make gathers on the back side of the dress. So this is the back side. I want all gathers to gather, to make a gather here. So they are making a gathering, and we don't allow them to gather so much. We just pull the elastic, right, to make them even gathering, and this way it is like a stretched gathering, and then we make a stitch pulling the fabric from the back side. We make a stitch on it. It helps if you have a motored machine or a foot pedal machine, but even if you are having a hand wheel machine, then you can take the help of somebody from the family, or pull the other part from your hand. This way it's done. You can make multiple stitches, same way pulling the fabric, and this way it will be done, right? I hope you are completed till here. And now if you want, make more gathers, up to you. So later on when you need to unstitch, you'll be taking more time, but even then make one more to make it look beautiful. You know, you can make the bottom of your salwar or the sleeves this by using this method, and it looks nice. So here we make one more stitch over it. Once you have done this, we need to just simply stitch it from the side, and then this palazzo is done. I hope you liked watching this video. If you want to watch this video in Hindi, then you can visit the Stitching Wall Hindi Urdu channel and watch the full video in Hindi or Urdu. Thank you. Goodbye. Take care.